Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about day one of Hasbro Pulsecon, the Transformer stuff that they talked about. And specifically, I want to make sure that you get in on the pre-order of their exclusive before they sell out. They're still up, and I'm surprised, but it's pretty exciting. They got 2 exclusives. And also want to talk about day 2 predictions of the Indiana Jones and kind of stuff that I've been hearing, but just to talk about my thoughts on this. And then of course I'll talk a little more in my news, but my news would be like an hour long if I didn't make this video today. But also a heads up on how the pre-ordering stuff went today for the exclusives for Transformers, because specifically this Serpentor is probably going to be hard to get and sell out really fast. So I want to talk about that, a couple of talking points, some things to bring up and discuss. But we're going to talk about this and more coming up. So first off, I do want to start by talking about the exclusives that they have. And first off, we have a Shattered Glass Soundwave, which looks pretty cool. And he is going to come with Laserbeak and Ravage recolored and all that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting looking one. This does look to be the Netflix mold, more or less, because it does turn into a Sony Walkman boombox. I think this picture kind of depicts everything. It's the back of the box, back of the packaging, and it shows that it is the Netflix mold, but recolored. So for that, it's a little bit more expensive. It's more on the pricey side. And it is still up for pre-order right now. It's pricey. It's $63. But yeah, it's expensive. So let's get into the next exclusive. All right, so our next exclusive is this 2-pack. I've been talking about this a lot. And we got Alpha Trion, Orion packs, and we have Vector Sigma and the key to Vector Sigma and all of that kind of stuff. So this pack is $67. Mine were $73 after taxes with free shipping with the premium. And I bought the premium because I did buy 2 of the HISS tanks, and so got free shipping on those. So I want to get to talking about this though. Alpha Trion's a remold, a rework of a Sweep or Scourge, and it is what, $33 figure. And then you look at Orion Pax being a $23 figure. So that's $66 right there, right? No, $56 right there. $10 for this gold ball in a stand. And so, really, the value's there. The value's there, and it's exclusive. So I think it's definitely worthwhile. When these sell out, they'll be impossible to get, because I don't think they'll make them again. And I gotta say, they've only made a couple of Alpha Trions over the years. The last one wasn't great. This is great. So don't miss out. It's available right now if you're in on this. Next up, we got a Core Class Sludge. Now, I was a little unsure about these at first, because he's got kibble hanging off of his sides. There's stuff they could have done better. I bet you could, if you want to display it in bot mode, then the kibble is probably removable somehow, pops off with a ball joint or something. But that's just one thing I'm thinking. But it also turns into a combiner, and which, again, I don't like combiners on this, but I've sold off all my extras. I have 1 box set of those original Volcanicus, and I will never combine that thing. But I think this will be a great set for like a Legends display in Dino mode. And so let's see the look in the Dino mode, and it's not bad. I mean, it's not great, it's not bad. Having just recently reviewed the one that New Age made, New Age absolutely blows us out of the water, but New Age is like $70, and this is $12. This is supposed to be 10, but inflation, I guess, $12. Now, I did pre-order this one, and I pre-ordered the Slag, which should be coming up here in a bit. So now we have Sound Blaster, which is just a recolor of the already excellent mold that they made for Soundwave, and he is the darker colored version. Here is the alt mode of him, and it's a nice looking version. This alt mode is a nice looking alt mode, considering the feet are on the top, as in, I don't know, play button, and it's not, no. But the feet on the top are really the only problem. I think you could also just put the feet to the side, and there's different things you can do with that. But it's not horrible, and this might be a masterpiece accessory to put on a masterpiece shelf and just be like, hey, here he is in alt mode. Mass shifting, right? Alright, here's Slag, or now they call him Slug, I guess. I don't know. I pre-ordered him, I don't even know what they call him. But I'm going to go ahead and get this guy. I think I'm in on this team. I don't know. I'm really in a Dino mood these days. I'm really excited about it. And then Also, with all of the people rating the masterpiece, it seems like there's more love for dinos right now than I've ever seen, and people are excited about their old dinos at the same time, so it's pretty cool. So this is a pretty interesting looking one, and it'll look pretty good in the alt mode, so let's take a look at that. Here it is in the alt mode. Now, it does look like he's got a huge giant kind of gap in the front of his chest, but there are many concessions being made for a what used to be $10, now $12 price point, but not bad. And just as something on your like legend shelf or something, instead of spending $70 a figure, these could be your alt modes, and then you can have the $70 figures in their bot mode. I mean, that's something that can be done also. So here's breakdown, so we can start completing that Minotaur team. I'm getting all the individual limbs. I still, in my heart of heart, I feel like I'm going to find Motormaster for like $50 somewhere or $40 somewhere, but I haven't, and since I haven't, I don't have them yet. So now I may not get them. I may miss them, but anyway, I'll pick up the G2 version, I guess. But I will be picking up all the limbs, so eventually when I find a sell on Motormaster. But this guy does look good. So I think this is, if they had put this out at Combiner Wars, then like this would have been amazing. But Combiner Wars ones weren't bad. It was just the Combine mode that was absolutely horrible. The figures themselves, the limbs weren't really bad. So, but here we go with the alt mode. Now, alt mode looks spot on. Looks fantastic. So there's only so much you can do with the mainline release, and the money really is the engineering. The more parts, the more engineering, the more labor, and the more mold. So, yeah. And now we're getting into Needle Nose. This is a deluxe Needle Nose. I thought about pre-ordering him, but I think I'll find him in the wild. But maybe I won't. And I kind of don't care. I think we had this guy maybe in the Titan Returns line. So still, it's a pretty cool looking figure overall. And let's see what the alt mode. Nope, alt mode is next. This is the Target Master. He's got both of his Target Masters with him, and they're terrible Target Masters. They should do more with the Target Masters. Like, we're advancing in society, theoretically. We're advancing with technology, but we get the same old exact kind of Target Masters we got back in the day, so that's kind of not really good. But here's the alt mode, and I guess you plug the Target Masters in the back there. So it's a pretty cool Needle Nose overall, if that's what you're into. Next, we're getting into the Legacy Deluxe Hotshot, and so it does look like Hotshot to me, and his got a little visor that goes up and down and all that kind of stuff, and looks pretty decent in the bot mode now. I remember when this was on the shelf, I didn't buy one back then. I don't know if I'll pick it up now. A lot of people, this is, in this era, one of the most popular Transformers at the time. I guess he was the Bumblebee of this era. Anyway, looking at this, here he is in his alt mode, and his alt mode looks pretty close to what I remember the cartoon and all that kind of stuff, so it's not bad at all. But if you're in on this, I mean, you can still pre-order this right now at Hasbro Pulse. No, I'm not being paid by Hasbro Pulse at all either. It's just that's where it's at right now. And then BBTS, Entertainment Earth, probably Amazon, all of them like shortly after, like an hour or two later. I think all this is up there too, aside from those two exclusives. Now this is a Junkion Deluxe, and so the rest of them have been Voyager scale, which is bigger, which is Voyager and Leader are the same exact thing scale wise now. So this is smaller, and it is more of a I don't know what you call it, weaponizer, I guess. Is it a weaponizer? But here we go with this is cool. Like, I'm looking at this, and I'm super ultra G1, and I'm thinking, this is kind of cool. We got kind of a junky looking junk heap of a truck. Maybe if we hung out on the planet of junk, on Junkion, we probably would have found something like this. Like, this is something I could see on, and he's weaponized, Evo Fusion weaponizing. He does break apart and weaponize, like I thought. And he's a weaponizer to go on to other deluxes or other figures, and it shows him on Hotshot there. And then showing the packaging. Not sure why these aren't really numbered in order, but there we go. So here he is in the packaging, package shot, and all that kind of stuff. So kind of the same packaging that's out there. And we're going to, I think one of these, the breakdown has the original Legacy packaging, and it's not packaged in Evolution. All right, now we're on to Tarn. And so I want to say a couple of things about this figure. I don't think it looks horrible. It's not bad, but I think we're really, really spoiled if we've been paying attention to what third party has been doing in the Masterpiece scale and all of that kind of stuff. So this thing is good, but we've been so spoiled looking at these high-end, expensive premium ones that have already come out to get this one here, which is now going to be a Voyager for like $33. Here's the alt mode, and it doesn't look bad. I actually don't really know if that's what the alt mode should look like based on the IDW comic and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a cool looking figure, it's a cool looking vehicle, and if you're in on it, and $33 is way cheaper than what we've seen them third-party Masterpiece scale versions. Now this is one that kind of surprised me. So this is a Transformers Legacy Leo Prime, and it's a Voyager scale, so it's going to be a bit bigger. And the thing about it being a Voyager scale is that it's not going to be too far off from a Masterpiece shelf. Beast Wars are run a little bit small, and so I think this would work fine. I'd like to see this side by side with the Masterpiece. I'm sure the Masterpiece probably about 1.5 inches taller, but I passed on the Masterpiece. It was like $160, and this thing at $33 might be worth picking up. So the way I look at Beast Wars is it's not my number 1 or my number 2 or number 3 or number 4 line of Transformers. It's like number 6 or 7. So I do have a shelf of it, but something like this is perfect. That's why I've been picking up these mainline releases for Beast Wars, because they're perfect for my shelf, because they're lower price point and they look fantastic. I mean, they're really doing some good work with Beast Wars from what we've seen. Now, here's the alt mode, and in the alt mode he does have some missile launchers or guns or whatever this kind of stuff is going on with them, and looks pretty good. Again, the Masterpiece is going to blow it away. It's a way better version, but for a fraction of the cost, like a fifth or a sixth of the cost, for $33, it's not that bad. Here's the packaging, and I'm not sure the packaging on everything. We've kind of already seen all this stuff before, but at the end of the day, it does look pretty good, and yeah, it's amazing to see this coming to the main line. This is one of those things that this is almost like seeing the last HasLab, which is the Victory Saber, showing up at retail. I mean, this is something that's quite obscure for the U.S. market, or even some of the other markets out there that outside of Japan. All right, now getting into Indiana Jones. So with this is some code names, product names that were brought up. Yakface.com put these out, and we have no idea what all this means, but there's 6 figures. So I'm actually going to show 6 figures tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking. And the word on the street is going to be the 6-inch scale or 1/12 scale, and so that's fine. So when you think about this, all we've really gotten in the past were some Disney exclusives, Disney store exclusives, and they're not really all that great. So we got this one right here where he's, is this Temple of Doom? Is this the Temple of Doom, or is this Raiders of the Lost Ark? One of them. Anyway, he doesn't have his signature jacket on, and he's got the ripped sleeve and all that kind of stuff, and his hat. He's got to have his hat. So I have both of the versions that were put out, but none of them are complete. So I'm like actually piecing together those two to make one complete one from back in the day, and I did this years ago, just for fun. So let's look at the one that's got the hat and the jacket. Yeah, I probably should have taken my own picture of mine, but again, mine aren't complete, so I would have one complete one and one incomplete. But anyhow, they're not great. They're not horrible, though. The articulation is super older. They're from 2012 or 2010 or something like that. So they're really old. We need an update, but we do need like something along the lines of Classified, or we've been getting Amber Collection for the Jurassic Park, or those kinds of things updated for Indiana Jones, and that's kind of what I expect. So what we're hearing about day 2 and the reveals of Indiana Jones is probably going to be 6-inch. I think the 2008 line is a beautiful line that is more inclusive than what we got from Kenner now. We'll show that. And I think that they should go back and revisit this. Now, the problem is they went really deep on some of these, but they made too many Indiana Jones figures because Kenner only made the one, and nobody could find it, so nobody wanted to buy the other figures to battle nobody. So if you don't have an Indiana Jones figure, then you can't really battle Indiana Jones with all the bad guys and stuff. So with this, though, they really dialed it out. And if you have an original Kenner collection, you can just mix them in with this, and it looks fine. It looks great. But I think they really did a good job back in 2008 to 2010 or 12, or I don't know how long it took till they stopped it. But it was a bomb. I just remember seeing the duds on the shelf, clogging up the shelf, and nothing good. And so I only bought a couple, and I have them in the package still back then, but I kind of put a collection together later on, and they still weren't really that expensive, 10 years later. So I think a year or two ago, I put a little collection together. But what really is expensive is the exclusive stuff. So they did an SDCC exclusive of basically the original Killer line, and this is really hard to find nowadays. Now, I saw a set go for like $200 loose when I first started collecting them, and I was thinking, people are crazy. And after a while, then I started noticing people trying to get $200 figure. So this is something that needs to get revisited. But how would they do it? Would they do it like this? Or would they do it with a retro series? I really think that Hasbro should come out with a retro series with everything that's already been made for the retro series all at once and just make it happen. And put it out at retail and it'll sell. Especially with a movie and people with nostalgia and the fact that some of these figures carded go for crazy money, like $700-800. We're talking most of these figures go for more than the average carded Star Wars figure. I really don't know why. Well, I do know why. Because they are rarer than most Star Wars figures carded. They are... It failed. It's a failed toy line. This is a failure we're looking at. But we all kind of want it again. Last, we want to get into Serpentor. Now, this is a figure. Generally, figures with a vehicle go for $40. There was wording from Emily saying that it will be similar to Dr. Mindbender. Now, I believe that she was talking about quantity, not price. So, if it's similar to Dr. Mindbender at the $40-something price range, then cool. Don't think that's what's going on. I think it's going to be about $80. I think $80. I'm just telling you, my belief is $80. Some people are like, oh, it's going to be $100, $150, $200. I think $80. And here's why. Because it's more of a vehicle than that stupid coil bike, but it's not like it's a real vehicle. It's not much to it that's going on. Once they get the sculpt in and they do the tooling to it, it's done, and they're just going to produce however many. And I kind of hope they have enough that everybody gets theirs. But here's how it went down at the Transformer 5 o'clock time frame. So it was 4 o'clock here, and it wasn't up yet. It took 9 minutes of constantly refreshing and frustratedly refreshing. I had 3 different windows open trying to look for the Alpha Trion, and it finally came up after 9 minutes. And then I was already logged in. I had already bought something and put some payment information in. Just checked to make sure everything was working fine. And then I placed my order, and it wasn't a big deal. So then when it went live, it didn't sell out right away for the Transformer. But this is a whole different story. It's a whole different group of people. It's a whole different animal we're going after. I think that there might be people that just sign up for Plus, the premium, to get this, and the premium members might buy out a lot of the stock. But I hope they have enough. They've hyped it up. So here's to it. But to check your time zone and all that kind of stuff. But here's Central, 4 o'clock for premium members, and 5 o'clock for everyone else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I did this because I don't want my news to be 45 minutes long, so I can zip through this part when it comes to news. But let me know what you think in the comments below about the Transformer reveals. Let me know what you think about what's coming up with Indiana Jones. And by the way, feel free to comment on this video as soon as stuff's posted for Indiana Jones, or share your experience with Serpentor, because I would like to know. Like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.